By the end of this video, your body will have generated enough electricity to power this light bulb for around 2 to 3 hours. Not metaphorical energy, not good vibes, actual measurable electrical current flowing through every cell of your body. You are quite literally a battery, and nobody taught you how to charge it. That's why you're stuck. You've optimized everything. You worked on your diet, on your macros, you're tracking your sleep, maybe even stacked your shelves with countless supplements. You're doing the work, bravo, but somehow you're still feeling depleted. Your mind is racing, but your body keeps dragging. You push harder, you add another protocol, but same results. And here's why. You've been treating yourself like a chemistry lab, but you're actually much more like a battery set. A saltwater battery, to be precise, that changes with sunlight and stores information, trauma, habits, reaction, beliefs in all its physical structure. A few weeks ago, we talked about how 97% of your actions run on autopilot, patterns that are stored in your subconscious mind, but I never really answered the most important question. Where are these patterns actually stored? Well, today I'm showing you the answer that ancient masters always told us, the same answer that scientists were able to confirm, but the most medical practitioners still completely ignore. This answer will totally shift how you see your body, your mind, and every wellness habit that you've worked so hard to build. In this video, you'll understand the electrical infrastructure that powers every thought, every emotion, every automatic reaction that you have. You'll see why some traumas won't heal through the talk therapy alone, and you'll discover why that morning sunlight that you crave isn't just psychological. It's your battery finally reconnecting its favorite power source. And together, I'll bring you through the stories of 3 groundbreaking scientists that prove that your body isn't just chemistry, it's electricity. And that electricity is the master control system for everything that you experience. So let's dive in. Our story begins in 1960 with Dr. Robert O. Becker, an orthopedic surgeon at the VA hospital in Syracuse, New York. Becker wasn't trying to revolutionize biology, he was just trying to figure out why salamanders could regrow entire limbs while humans couldn't. But what it discovered would challenge everything that the medical establishment believed about how the body works. At the time, everybody knew that the body's electrical signals were just nerve impulses, quick, isolated bursts of activity traveling along specific pathways. The nervous system was understood like a telephone network, discrete wires carrying discrete signals. But Becker suspected something else was going on. He began measuring electrical fields around living tissues, not just nerve impulses, but steady, continuous currents flowing through the body. And what Becker found changed everything. Becker discovered what he called a primitive data transmission system, direct current electricity flowing through the perineural tissue that supports cells surrounding the nerves. Okay, maybe this seems a little bit too technical, so let me simplify. Becker basically demonstrated that living tissues conducts direct current electricity, not in bursts, but in steady flows. Think of nerve impulses like the Morse code, quick on and off signals, but Becker found something else entirely. A continuous electrical current humming underneath everything, like the baseline power flowing through your house, even when it's not turned on. So this DC electrical system wasn't just there by accident. It was fundamental to healing, regeneration, and the body's ability to maintain itself. And here's where it gets even crazier. Becker discovered that he could stimulate bone healing by applying external electrical currents. Bones that wouldn't heal naturally could be pushed into regeneration with the right electrical stimulation. And let's be clear, this wasn't theoretical. He didn't just speculate about all of these capabilities on paper. Becker produced multiple clinical evidence that electricity wasn't just a byproduct of life. It was a fundamental organizing principle. Of course, back then, the medical establishment resisted fiercely. How could electricity, the domain of physics, be fundamental to biology? Weren't we sophisticated chemistry sets? But Becker persisted, and eventually his work on electrical bone healing became FDA-approved standard treatment. Today, orthopedic surgeons routinely use electrical stimulations to heal fractures. Becker's fringe science became mainstream medicine, and his book in 1985, The Body Electric, laid out a new radical proposition that the human body is fundamentally an electrical system, and that this electrical system is the master control that coordinates all of our biochemistry. But Becker couldn't answer one critical question: what was conducing this electricity? The body is made mostly of water and salt, not exactly known as great conductors, or so everyone thought. The answer to that question would come decades later, from an unlikely source: a bioengineering professor studying the behavior of water molecules near biological surfaces. Meet Dr. Gerald Pollack, professor of bioengineering at the University of Washington. In the early 2000s, Pollack was investigating a very simple question: how does water behave near surfaces in the body? What he discovered would rewrite our understanding of water itself. We all learned in school that water exists in just three phases: solid ice, liquid water, and gaseous vapor. But Pollack discovered there is a fourth phase.
We uncovered a fourth phase of water.
Near hydrophilic surfaces, so the surfaces that attract water like cell membranes, proteins, and the interior of the blood vessels, water spontaneously organizes itself into a gel-like crystalline structure. Pollack called this new phase exclusion zone water, or easy water, because it excludes particles and solutes. Think about it for a moment. Water inside of your cell isn't just random H2O molecules bouncing around. A significant portion of it is actually structured, organized into a crystalline matrix that holds a negative electrical charge. And your cells are filled with this charge, structured water. So your fascia, the connective tissue wrapping every muscle, every organ, and the structure of your body, is actually saturated with this water. Your blood vessels are lined with it. And now here's where Becker and Pollack's discoveries converge. This structured, negatively charged water could be the conductor that Becker was looking for. Although the scientists never actually collaborated, because Becker died in 2008 while Pollack's major easy water work was published in 2013, the pieces fit together remarkably well. Easy water doesn't just conduct electricity, it conducts it better than bulk water. The organized structure allows ions to flow more efficiently, and this negative charge creates electrical potential. Suddenly, Becker's DC current system had found its missing piece. The thing that carries the electricity through your entire body, well, it's water, but not just any water, it's structured water. Think about how a battery works. You have two different solutions separated by a membrane, creating a charge separation. Current flows when ions move through the electrolyte solution. Your cells work exactly the same way. The structure easy water near your cell membranes creates charge separation. Ions like sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, they flow through this charged water, and so current flows. The human body is literally a biological battery system, and these are millions of cellular batteries working in parallel, conducting current through a body-wide network of structured charged water. But here is where it gets even more interesting, and here is where ancient wisdom starts to make scientific sense. So now we have our conductor, structured water flowing with electrical current through your entire body. But this electricity isn't just flowing through your body, it's carrying information. And that information seems to behave in ways that shouldn't be possible according to classical physics. For thousands of years, traditional healing systems like Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, indigenous medicine, they all maintained that water carries more than just molecules. They said that it carries information, vibrational patterns, memory. Western science always dismissed this as pseudoscience. Water is just H2O, they said. It can't really store information beyond its chemical composition. But Pollack discovery opened a new possibility. If water can exist in a structure crystalline state at body temperature, carrying electrical charge throughout the body, then maybe those ancient healers were describing something real. They didn't have the scientific language, but they understood the phenomena. But hold on, if your body is a battery, there's an obvious question. What charges it? And the answer is light. Pollack discovered that easy water doesn't just form spontaneously. It's built and maintained by light energy, specifically infrared light. When you shine infrared light on water near a hydrophilic surface, the exclusion zone grows. More water becomes structured and the electrical charge increases. And what is the biggest source of infrared light that we are exposed to? Well, the sun. Every morning when sunlight hits your skin, it's not just helping you synthesize vitamin D, it's literally charging your biological battery system. Infrared protons penetrate your tissue, structuring water in your cells and fascia, building your easy zones, increasing your electrical potential. You know that feeling when you've been inside all day under fluorescent lights, staring at the screen, and you finally step outside into natural sunlight and something in you just exhales and lit up? Well, that's not psychological only. That's your battery recognizing its charging power. You're literally running on low power and your system knows it. And this is why humans have always been diurnal creatures. We're not just adapted to daylight, we are electrically dependent on it. Our biological system requires regular recharging from natural light. And this is not just another wellness guru product sponsorship or some kind of new age tree-hugger promotional message. Studies tracking hundreds of thousands of night shift workers show that they have significantly higher risks of cardiovascular disease, metabolic disorders, and even certain types of cancers. When you chronically deprive your body of natural light exposure, you're not just disrupting sleep, you're literally degrading the electrical infrastructure that powers every single cell. Your body is a rechargeable battery. And light, especially morning sunlight, is one of our primary charging mechanisms. And by the way, if you want to go even deeper into this, I recently had a conversation with Sarah Turner, a quantum physicist specializing in biomodulation and circadian rhythms. The video should be appearing just here or here. Well, no, here, down here. So we've got this elaborate electrical systems running through structured water, charged by sunlight and carrying information throughout your body. But here's still a missing piece that doesn't make quite sense. If this is happening throughout your entire body, there should be some kind of physical network holding it all together, some substrate of sorts that connects every cell, every organ, every system into a unified bioelectrical field, like a giant network of electricity conductors. Well, scientists looked for this. They searched the nervous system, but it was too limited, only reaches specific locations. They looked into the circulatory system and they got close, but it's designed for transport, not electrical transformation. The lymphatic system, again, transportation, not communication. Where is this physical infrastructure that holds the entire electrical network together? And then they realized something. They have been literally throwing away the answer for centuries. For centuries, anatomists literally threw it away. During these sections, they'd peel back this white, web-like tissue to get to the important stuff, the muscles, the organs, the bones. The fascia was just packaging material, biological bubble wrap. But remember, in nature, nothing is there if it doesn't serve a purpose. And in recent decades, researchers started actually looking at what they've been discarding. And they discovered that fascia isn't separate pieces of connective tissue. It's a single, continuous, three-dimensional web that permeates your entire body. Every muscle fiber is wrapped in fascia. Every organ is suspended in it. Every nerve and blood vessel runs through it. Your bones are encased in fascia. And if you could remove everything from your body except the fascia, you'd still have a perfect three-dimensional outline of yourself. Every structure, every detail held in place by this continuous web. But here's what makes fascia truly revolutionary. It's not just structural, it's the physical highway that carries the bioelectrical currents that Becker discovered. Remember the structured water that we talked about from Dr. Pollack? The easy water that conducts electricity? Well, fascia is saturated with it. The ground substance between collagen fibers is primarily structured water. And this creates a body-wide network of charged organized water, perfect for conducting bioelectric currents. This is your electrical superhighway. The information doesn't just travel through your nervous system, it flows through your fascial network at continuous currents, faster, more holistic, more integrated. But fascia doesn't just conduct information, it stores it. Think about how a vinyl record works. Sound waves create grooves in the plastic. When you play it back, those physical grooves recreate the original sound. Your fascia works actually the same way. Every repeated action, every emotional pattern, every trauma creates physical changes in the fascial tissue. Changes in how the collagen is organized, changes in the structure of the water, changes in the electrical charge distribution. Remember, 97% of your daily actions are automatic, run by the subconscious mind. But the subconscious mind isn't some mysterious force floating in your brain. It's also physical. It's patterns stored in your fascia through the organization of structured water, the alignment of collagen fibers, and the distribution of electrical charges. Every time that you react to stress the same way, your fascia records that electrical pattern. Every traumatic experience creates a disruption in the fascial network's flow. And like a knot in the garden hose, it stores that type of information. Every limiting belief that you have internalized becomes encoded in the physical restrictions of your tissue. Think about what does it really mean. When you go to therapy and talk about your trauma, you're processing it cognitively from the brain. That's valuable, that's important. But again, if 97% of this information and trauma response is stored in your physical fascial tissue, then talking alone isn't enough. You have to release it from where it actually lives. This is why people can have a breakthrough in therapy but still react the same way when they're triggered. The conscious insight is real, but the fascial pattern, the actual electrical record, hasn't still changed. You've updated the external cover of your phone, but the hardware is still running the old software. So let's talk about what this actually means for your life. For the last century, we've been operating under a very specific paradigm of what the human body is. Body equals chemistry set. Illness equals chemical imbalance. Solution equals add chemical, take a pill. And sometimes that works. Antibiotics saves lives. Insulin keeps diabetics alive. Modern medicine has done genuine miracles. But it also fails a lot. And because your body is fundamentally an electrical system, a battery running on structured water storing information in your fascia, then approaching it purely as chemistry misses the entire foundation. You can take all the supplements in the world, you can optimize every chemical pathway, and trust me, I had shelves stacked for years of this stuff. But if your battery is running on low charge, and your information pathways are blocked with decades old of stored trauma, well, nothing fundamentally really changes. If you don't work on updating your operating system, the same fundamental patterns will keep repeating over and over. And that's what you will manifest in your life. Your body is a battery, a bioelectrical miracle capable of things that we are only beginning to really understand. And for too long, we've been told that we are just chemistry, just mechanics, just matter. But you're so much more than that. You are electricity flowing through structured water, information encoded in fascia, energy in motion. Literally, think about the deeper meaning of emotions. When you understand this, when you really get this, everything shifts. Healing becomes about charge, about flow, about releasing the patterns that are stored in your body since childhood, maybe even before. This is what whole grain wisdom is all about. We're not reinventing something new, we are remembering something ancient, something that healers and mystics knew since thousands of years ago. Science and spirituality aren't enemies. They are the same truth, just expressed in different languages. At Whole Grain Wisdom, we're bringing these worlds together, merging cutting edge science with timeless wisdom, so that you can unlock the methods and the protocols that actually work for better health, for better leadership, for better lives. So visit wholegrainwisdom.com and join us now. Let's remember together what the ancient wisdom and science is finally proving. The truth is only one, just expressed in different languages. Now it's time to start charging your battery properly. So see you in the next video.